Zohran Mamdani and other democratic socialists should create their own party, because I don't want that in my party. I'm a democratic capitalist, not a democratic socialist.
All right, I got to give Tom Suozzi all the credit in the world. Let's see if Kentucky Senator Rand Paul agrees with me. Welcome back, Senator Paul, as always. I mean, Suozzi went out there and said it. He's a Long Island congressman. It's a mixed district. You got to be a moderate Democrat. But he's, so far as I know, he's the only Democratic, national office holder who said get him out of the party. He doesn't want the party to be a socialist party. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's unusual, actually. The majority of Democrats want the Democrat socialists. They see all these young people wanting socialism. But socialism's been tried a few times, as you might recall. They had socialism in Russia, the Soviet Union. Stalin tried it. Mao tried it in China. And let's see, 50 million people died from starvation. Hayek wrote about this a lot. Hayek wrote about the fatal conceit. He said that socialists believe you can get all these experts in a room and they can decide how many shoes should be made, how many cars, how much corn should be grown. But it turns out every time they tried this planning, it didn't work, and that capitalism was smarter, because capitalism involves millions of people interacting simultaneously. It allows supply and demand to meet. And when that happens, you get efficiency. You get goods distributed in an abundant way at the cheapest price possible. And socialism can never beat that. It's also why China will never match America. It's why Russia could never match America. We should actually be more confident in our system and not fear, the Chinese, the Chinese. The Chinese form of capitalism still has a healthy dose of socialism and will never match ours if we leave our economy alone.
Actually, on that point, the only time China's economy came alive was in the 80s and 90s because of Deng Xiaoping's reforms. They were market reforms. I mean, he let people keep some of the profits from the farms. He let entrepreneurs build and own new factories. Now, the last 10, 15 years, the Chinese economy has steadily deteriorated as Xi Jinping cuts back on the free market reforms. And the state is now running the economy just almost as badly as it was 30 or 40 or 50 years ago.
Yeah, and every bit of success the Chinese still have is owed to capitalism. And their leaders don't want to hear that. They want to say it's a special form of socialism. No, what they've allowed is some capitalism. And whatever capitalism they have there is allowing them to produce things. The moment they squelch it with socialism, and the current leadership has tried more, it leads to stagnation. And I think they are in a process where I think there is an analogy to the Soviet Union, where everybody predicted, the Soviet Union had such great might in the 60s and 70s. And it turns out when we finally learned what was going on behind there, they were much weaker than we had predicted. Now, we know more about China because they interact in the market, buying and selling. But I still say we need to be proud. When people want to be proud of their country in America, we need to be proud of our economic system, because that's truly, what has made our country great.
So I got this guy here in New York, wants to be mayor. He wants the state to run grocery stores. He hates cops, he's anti-Semitic, and he calls himself a, quote, democratic socialist. I don't even know what that means. What should we do with him?
Send him out on a rail, let him go visit China. I don't know, maybe he could go on world tour. It would be worth buying the guy a ticket to send him to socialist countries as long as he's not mayor. But socialism doesn't work. It's always an utter failure. And if they were to own the grocery stores, you'd have no food. That is the history of socialism. One of my favorite stories for Behind the Curtain was a story in Russia. And a guy goes into the store and he says, "Are you the store that doesn't have eggs?" And the guy says, "No, we're not the store that has
10 seconds.
We're the store that doesn't have toilet paper. It's the store across the street's the one that doesn't have eggs." That was the story of the Soviet Union and the story of socialism.
That's going to happen here, I fear. Anyway, we can beat him. Senator Rand Paul, always great, sir. Thanks for your time. We